Hey YouTube, it is Blurred here. Today I want to talk about Smile for the Camera, number 3 from IDW Dark. It is a horror comic, and I am absolutely loving it. I've described this as if America's Next Top Model was a horror anthology or horror show, and this book, what it does is it is a horror story set in the world of high fashion, and I think that it's kind of telling two stories about the predatory nature of the modeling industry and a very, very real monster that is killing these models. And while every book, it has a set pattern, you know what's going to happen, to who it's going to happen. We're still figuring out the why. And so, despite having a very formulaic, predictable story, there's still that intrigue, and you still don't know how we get from A to B, but they give you clues and they give you hints. The first book, it started off very shocking, as each book does. Well, not really the first panel. The first panel of each book introduces you to the characters you're going to be following in this issue via a full MySpace page layout. It gives you a bio, their favorite quotes, who they are, so on and so forth. And this issue focuses on Lena Cox. Yeah, even on the top here it says My Face. So it is a knockoff MySpace. So it lets you know that it's going to be set roughly 20 years ago when MySpace was the big thing. And here the first panels are, focused on the grisly scene at the end of the last issue. And I think I'm picking up a pattern here, because when the book starts, you meet your first model. I think her name was Cammy. And she's getting on the plane, and as she's looking out the window, she sees a baggage handler smiling at her. And he calmly walks into the propeller of the plane, ending his life. And so it looks like there's some kind of curse that when you see the person die, that curse kind of hops to you. And so, like I said, being formulaic, you know that you're not going to see Lena past the last page of this book. But like I said, the how, you don't know. But it's always a gruesome payoff if you're a big fan of horror. And at the same time, outside of trying to, escape this curse, we find out that she is trapped in this modeling contract because the predatory agency, they signed her up for a deal of where they put her up and they pay for everything, but they're not really paying for everything. They're overcharging her for everything, from the water she drinks to the room that she sleeps in, putting her in a cycle of debt to where if she leaves the agency, they can sue her for everything she has. But, at this point, the girls are getting freaked out because they're seeing the same patterns that we, the readers, are. And so they're wanting to get out, but the modeling agency only sees them as commodities and investments. And so you have the very real monster of this curse that is killing them, literally. And, the predatory nature of the modeling agency as well is playing a part in this. And so I'm excited to see further developments. Every issue, it leans a little bit more into horror, and it gives you another breadcrumb of what exactly is going on here. I'm hooked. I'm here for the long haul of this series. I really should, if you're a horror fan, there's no reason why you shouldn't be checking it out. So get Smile for the Camera. We're on issue number 3, and it is from IDW Dark. If you guys like the content, you can support me financially by buying me a coffee using the QR code on the screen right now. But most importantly, watching, liking, subscribing, commenting. That all helps me more than anything else. So I'll see you guys next time. Until then, keep reading them books. You know I will. I'm out.